change. It's been a while since I let it bring me down. And lately I've been digging myself out. I'm letting go of who I used to be. Wave goodbye to all the memories.
Oh, hey gang. How's everybody doing tonight? We got
Hey,
one of our
guys.
favorite guests tonight, the lovely Marge.
Hi there.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Hope
Happy
everybody's
Friday.
having a great week. So far we've had a really good week. Little annoyed with the rain, but we really, really need it. So
Little Larry. See Larry's
know.
out there already.
I'm hoping
On a tote
that we
board.
get more
Hi, Lar.
rain while we're sleeping versus while we're awake. But I'll take it. You know, we've been very lucky, and
It's great. We get like a whole year's worth of rain in like, 20 minutes. That's the way it works anymore. You know what I mean? Like, 2 inches of rain. I was on 95. It was like a swimming pool.
Is that
How does an
Christine?
elevated highway flood
that
something?
yeah, it's Christine D from the long hair. Yeah, it's our Christine. Hey Christine. Hey Lar. Glad you guys are showing up. I did send out invites, so hopefully we'll have as big of a crowd as we had last week. Last week was pretty.
Some people had to stand.
Last week was really cool because there was a lot of people calling in. There was a lot of people. Oh, geez, I'm so big. There was a lot of people.
We even got some just out of the blue people tuned in the other week. They were just scanning through on YouTube and seeing our thing and tuned in. They were from, I don't know, where were they from? They're
They were from
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Weren't they down? Yeah.
Yes,
I know, Louisiana. That's right. Talking
Louisiana.
bayou food and all.
Yeah, we were talking
A couple.
Bayou.
A couple. It was pretty neat. Yeah, they tuned in. Yeah, we really liked your show. We just kind of stumbled on you guys. They were looking for an online meeting. Actually, what they were doing, and they seen our heading come up there.
Yeah, she's like, "Is this? Can
Can I get credit for this?
Can I go?" I'm like,
said, "Well,
I don't know. I don't know if this is that kind of
Sure,
thing.
send me. I'll sign anything. Just send it over there. Sure.
Let me know. I'll sign it.
I'll even say you were picking up trash on the side of the highway if you need that. I mean,
Yeah,
come in my yard, shovel up dog poop there. I'll sign you off.
yeah. But it was neat because there were so many people that were like commenting and then interacting between each other on the comments, which is the show that started all of this. That's what we used to do. That's how we got to know each other, by just chatting in the comments and sharing our experiences together. So it was pretty cool to see that. That was the connection we were making, and that's what I was hoping.
Oh, Betty Ann.
Hey, Betty Ann.
If anybody has any experience with Italy, my Marge has a million questions.
For my canceled trip.
Yeah.
She's looking to do a trip abroad. She's not traveling as a man anymore.
But I can check with my cousin too, because she's a world traveler, so she might have some
This
information
is true.
for you.
Awesome.
So, how's everybody doing? If anybody is struggling at all, please feel free to call in. Feel free to pop in the comments if you have the capability of that. I think you can do that on your phone or on your laptop. I don't think you have that capability on your television. But you can always do both. You can comment through your phone and watch us on the TV if that's what you do. That's what we're here for. We're here just to share our experience. If you are struggling, we are always here to listen and help you through,
Grab some water.
getting through the next day if that's necessary. Betty Ann is going in September 16th, 2024. So, she'll already be there. So
Well, that's when we're thinking of going, is for
Oh,
the
well.
anniversary, which is September 16th.
there you go. There you go. So, you can go with Betty Ann. Just follow her around because she'll talk to anybody. But that's pretty cool. So
I'm good. I brought her water. Thank you.
we'll have to like hang out one night so you guys can get to know each other and hang out and go to Italy together. But
Now that's a spicy meatball. I always remember that
Yeah.
that Alka-Seltzer commercial.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a spicy
yes.
meatball.
That's a spicy meatball.
My eyes
was
are
that?
bigger than my stomach.
Yeah, nobody's eyes are that big.
See, we're like a comedy team. We know each other's true.
So how's everybody doing? Anybody out there struggling, pop in at 267-737-8031. Call line is open. And or give us a comment because
The numbers are coming up. We got some people tuning in.
Yep, we got people popping in. And if you are new to the show, this is a recovery chat show. We just kick back and talk recovery. We share our experiences and hope that, you know, we can answer some questions and help you out if you're struggling. And this is for families, friends, those that are still struggling, those that are in recovery. Even if you've lost someone, we're here to listen. So that's what we're about. Give us a shout if you do like what you're seeing or hearing. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, come hang out with us. So, how you doing, Marge?
I'm good. I'm
You're
glad
good?
that I'm here on a whim
Yes.
to
Marge was
just
able to
kinda
free up
add a
some
little-
time in her very busy lifestyle to
Yes.
come in tonight. We're very lucky.
So I just figured I would join you and kind of mix things up a little.
Cool.
Good. That's what
I
we
don't
need.
have a topic.
We
really.
always enjoy your
You know,
company.
My topic is always about my recovery.
Exactly.
In a sense, not my loved one's recovery.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough.
Nicole says, hi, I'm a wife of a recovering addict. I am on my own journey through Naranon and just wanted to listen in. Well,
We're
welcome,
glad to have you
Nicole.
on board. On board here,
Yes.
Nicole.
I love Naranon. I think they have a great program to help the loved one get through some difficult moments. And, you know, I do follow a lot of their literature. I'm not big on their meetings, but that's just me. I do attend a meeting. Used to attend every week, but now I'm every other week because that's what they changed to. So I'm very
And that meeting is a family meeting, not a, this isn't a Naranon meeting.
right. This
It's
is
a
a
family meeting.
crosstalk. It's a family support, family and friends, family support group, which is a crosstalk group, which I love. I love going in when I'm pissed off and angry and getting feedback and then listening to how people are taking care of themselves. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Marge?
I think it's wonderful to get involved in a local support group, no matter what it is. I mean, because
Exactly.
I do a lot of stuff on Zoom, which is wonderful too. But when you really need to find out a contact for a local rehab or your recovery houses, or if you want to need a therapist, that's where all of that stuff comes in handy when you actually go to your local meeting and network with other people that are
Exactly.
in your community. I know sometimes it's hard for people. They don't want to, they're afraid of who they're going to see.
True, so true. So true.
But it's
Marge
very
used to have one of them
helpful.
masks with like the stick on it. She would, oh, hello.
Yeah, whether it's Naranon, Al-Anon,
Smart Recovery.
Smart Right, then you've got
Celebrate Recovery. Yeah, also have, and I don't know if what is the one, the Buddhist one?
Buddha?
I can't think of it. The Buddhist Recovery. I can't remember the name of it, and I don't know if they have a family type recovery or support group, but there's that. They have agnostic meetings as well if you don't like the God thing. Larry is in our comments, and that's what he chooses to follow, but he also chooses to follow regular AA. He just takes the God thing out of it. And that's, you know, that's your own cup of tea, you know, whatever helps you. But I myself am very interested in learning as much as I can, so I do try different pathways to family support. And right now I'm doing Smart Recovery. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I started off, my first one was Beyond Addiction, which is the craft.
Craft, yeah.
And I loved craft. Dharma. Thank you, Nicole. The craft I love because, and Smart Recovery and craft kind of go hand in hand. There is the Balm, which is Be a Loving Mirror, which it goes hand in hand with Smart Recovery and craft. Nar-Anon, I do like their literature, like I said, because it does help me get through some days.
Love that sesh book.
This sesh book is wonderful.
Yes. What else? I've never tried Celebrate Recovery. That is a religious-based family support and recovery support. So I've never tried that. I've never been to one, but that is something that I do want to try because, you know, like I said, I like to get educated. I like to know what's out there. I like to know the feel of everything. And, you know, I may not like some things in Smart Recovery. I may not like some things in Nar-Anon, and I might not like some things in craft. And that's why it's so important to, you know, go through and see what it is that you like, see where you like to fit in, and see what helps you the best. And I think that's the most important.
All right. If I could touch on something there, something I just came across there I find fascinating on, you know, the clinical end of addiction. As we all know, this new diabetes medication, Ozempic, well, lo and behold, they found out it works wonders for people for weight loss. So there's a big shortage of it because so many people are using it for weight loss, and the FDA is like finally just starting to approve of it for that. Well, lo and behold, guess what else they found it does? It helps with addiction. So keep your eye on that Ozempic. They find it very, very helpful in people, stopping people from drinking. It works very well with alcohol. It affects the amount of dopamine released and all, you know, when you're imbibing in alcohol. And smoking, they find it's very good for helping you quit smoking because it works with the pleasure receptors in the brain, like I said, that, you know, release dopamine and all. It's got a lot of, it could be for maybe other, you know, medications and such. It's just beginning. They're just scratching the surface. It's kind of hard to find a lot of information on it, but you know, anybody that's interested in that, follow it. It's Ozempic, type 2 diabetes medication, Ozempic, Ozempic.
Barb's in the house.
So that's the latest thing. That's really a lot of hope. I mean, it works rather fast too.
That's
supposedly.
wonderful.
Yeah.
But hopefully, too, people will realize that's just one part of the whole pie.
Right.
But
You know, it's definitely a big help.
But with all addiction, every addiction works with dopamine levels in your brain. That's the whole thing, the whole reward system, and that's what causes addiction. You know, the chemical end. But like you said, you know, you got the physical end, the mental end. You know, it's many folds in addiction there that all go together. But just something to follow. I always like to stay on the cutting edge of new things.
You are.
I just find it fascinating. You know, it's cool. But that's all I got so far. So,
But,
how's everybody else doing out there? Everybody doing good? I mean, the first week of summer, there don't feel like summer yet.
Right.
Well, it's pretty sticky out there today.
Pretty sticky, but
It is.
95 is now open, and I couldn't be happier.
Oh my gosh.
The only time I was more happier to hear was when I found out my wife was pregnant. That and finding out that I-95 opened back up. They were probably the two biggest discerning moments of my life to this day.
Not saying I do.
Well, I don't care with the territory. But I mean, you know, I was so elated. I was expecting 6 months of living hell, and that was 12 days.
Yep.
It's
Well,
amazing without red tape how fast things move.
Happy summer vacation, Barb. I'm glad that you're getting some time to
There's still gonna be
hang at the
bottlenecks.
pool.
But not as bad as it
It's
is
a
now.
bottleneck. I've been through it twice today. 3 lanes, there's no shifting over and other man, you're blowing them lanes.
We
It's
have
about
a
100 foot
caller.
of highway is all it is.
All right, good.
In the lanes, I got 15
Hello,
inches on each
caller.
wheel. I'm 102 wide, so I got plenty of room.
You
Good, and yourself?
very well.
Good.
I see Barbara popped in.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Hi, Barb. Miss you, love you.
And she's there.
Hi.
And Larry's there too. She wanted to say happy birthday to you, but you were not hanging out with us last Friday until late in the show.
Hello to Larry and Christine and everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I see. She said hi, Mom, and thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Well,
I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, that was my favorite mother-in-law, actually, that just called in there. But, yeah, Larry, that union labor. Them guys, boy, they gave up all that family time and everything to fix that road. They're probably making like $150 an hour.
Oh my
Triple
gosh.
time. But the poor guys, they do the way they're talking about it, you would think they volunteered their time to fix that road.
Yeah.
I think they were lit. I think they were climbing over each other to get on that detail.
Yep.
I know I would have.
Christine says, I spent last week at my daughter's watching her dogs, and just the fact that I was asked and stayed by myself is incredible. Regained trust is amazing. Isn't that
That's so
awesome?
true. That's so true, and it's so easily overlooked. I mean, thanks for bringing that up, Christine.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that's what we need to, remember. We do get trust. We do earn that back. It takes time. And, when you start seeing them doing the right thing, we have a whole different, outlook on things. And it's not an easy task to get that trust back. It's very difficult because there's been a lot of hurt, there's been a lot of pain, and there's been a lot of fear. And, just sitting back and watching them do the right thing is so amazing. Oh, and look at Barb. She's babysitting on Monday by herself. And these are the things that we get back in recovery. And it's just beautiful to be able to see that and watch it, because trust is big time loss when it comes to addiction.
Yeah, but it all takes baby steps to earn it back.
Yes.
They do.
And everybody's, you've got it. I mean, it's fear that keeps us and holds us away, but we all want that better relationship with our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, if we want that relationship to improve and they're showing that they are following through with their word and making amends, we have to open up and give them the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And that's important. Like we have to give them a little bit. I mean, and it's not like 28 days in treatment. Okay, here's the keys to the house, and here's all of my money, and I'm gonna go away for the week. That's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take time because there's still a lot of hurt and anger that we have to work through. And whether you ask him or not, Barb, to, have that day with him, you know what? They're giving you the day, and that is amazing. That's beautiful that you have that day. And, that's what it's about. We have to keep,
it's such an achievement. You got to be so excited to yourself. People on the outside don't realize it, but if there's someone to entrust you with something they love so much, and having faith in you again. At a time in your life, you probably thought nobody would ever have faith in you again. We have a tendency to give up on ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
and just like that's just such an awesome feeling. I can only imagine. I mean, you know, you think, oh, it's just their dogs, but that's something that's very close to them. Or, you know, we know how close grandchildren are, but I mean, but like Christine was saying about her, you know, her daughter's dogs. I mean, you know, a couple of years ago, she'd be afraid they're coming home, be afraid you forgot all about them, you didn't feed them or something, they'd crap on the floor, you know. But like just like into your house and have total faith in you again. I mean, it's such a stride. I mean, it just goes to show you, man, recovery works if you work it, and
Yep.
it's just, you know, it takes patience and diligence, and like Mark said, it's baby steps. It doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
You know, it's like that time thing. Things I must earn.
Exactly. And
I like
that's
I like to steal her thunder on.
I know. He's always stealing. Mike and Dawn say they miss you, Pat. Just so you know.
Oh, thank you. I miss you too.
They messaged on the thing.
On the bat line.
On the bat line. On the hotline.
Did Mike see?
Yes.
Oh, the coolest dad I know. The
Yes.
coolest dad out there and the coolest mom.
So,
You know, we were just commenting out the other day. His daughter speaks very highly of him. She was, I got the coolest dad.
well,
I used
that's
to do
cool.
outreach with them. They're like, they're the nicest family like you'd ever want to meet. They're all like just super nice.
Nice.
Yes, I saw that. I saw a comment up there. So
Mike would bring in people off the street in need. His wife would say it wasn't uncommon. Like on Thanksgiving, there'd be like 3 strangers sitting at the table she never saw before. He would just bring them in the house. Come on in, sit down.
break bread with us.
Yeah, I mean they're just super nice people,
Yeah.
and they raised a super nice daughter. Their daughter is
Jeremy is in the house.
She's working at
Hey,
a blind
Jeremy.
summer camp down the shore. I was reading there.
Jeremy from Louisiana is in the house.
Hey, everything we were just talking about you, buddy.
Yes.
You tuned in the other week down there talking Cajun stuff. Hey.
Yes, but yeah, trust is a very difficult journey for the family to get back there. You know, you have the manipulation that you lived through. That is, you know, something that's really difficult to get past. If you are somebody that, you know, has lost jewelry, money, sentimental valuables, you know, that can take some time to let go of. Maybe not the money so much as, you know, grandmom's wedding ring or something. And we have to remember, we have to try to remember that that's not who it was that took those items. It was, you know, the drug itself. And that's what we have to, hey Mary, keep on our minds, because they do become different people. Even though they are in there somewhere, they're out there and they're doing things that they wouldn't do if they weren't using. So, you know, kind of trying to forgive is, you know, a struggle for some of us, depending on how deep that got. You know, I'm blessed that I didn't have to feel that pain. But there's so many out there that did. And it's very difficult for some people. So, just give them time. That's the most important thing, that we both need time on each side, and our loved one is going to be like, I can't believe you don't trust me. Like, I've been out for a week now. It's like, yeah, but you've been not. We haven't had trust with you for like 5 years, so you know, to be patient. That's my biggest thing, is try and find the patience and try and see them doing the right thing. That's when you start to, you know, earn that back and gain that trust again, when you start seeing them making amends for everything. And they may not say, listen, I'm sorry, that, because they're still working through their program and trying to find how to approach it without feeling the guilt and the shame and picking up again. So be patient. That's all I ask when, you know, you're dealing with trying to find that trust and that hope. So with that, I do see there are some new people popping up, so feel free if you have the capability to pop into the chats. If you are struggling and need to ask a question or anything, pop into the chats and we will be happy to share our experiences with you. Or you can give us a call on the line, the number that's on the screen. So, so how are you doing with craft? Are you still engaged?
Oh yeah, I do my volunteer work with the partnership, parent coaching. They are doing a pilot program of small groups, introducing, well, we had 6 people in the group, and it was a 5-week session for an hour where they were introduced to the skills to understand behaviors make sense, about communication and boundaries. So it just was baby steps for them. It's the kind of like the first time that they've even really heard of it.
Right.
And then the partnership offers a lot of Zoom meetings where they will have every meeting. When you go into their website, they'll even tell you what topic they're going over, what key tool, we call it, you know, we have our toolbox.
Right.
So we need to practice some of this, whether it's open-ended questions, red light, green light, they call it.
Oh, I love that game. That and Freedom!
Freedom, yes.
And Summer, Marco, Polo, I've been all them great games. I don't think kids play things like that.
No.
Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again. I had a senior moment again. Red light, green light.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I like, and that's, you know, that's the same concept of the Family Smart, like giving you those tools. Like, you don't find those tools in Naranon, you know, because that they specifically work on you.
Right. Right. I think that Naranon, yeah, right, makes you focus on yourself.
On yourself.
And they create, because it's not a crosstalk meeting, it really makes you focus on whatever the topic is for that night. Not unless you have the chat, stay for the chat afterwards or chat before.
Right.
Can you crosstalk? But for me, learning about my unhealthy behaviors and the role that played in the relationship was a huge thing, because I'm being manipulated, then I try to manipulate, we're all trying to manipulate each other.
Yeah. It becomes a big chaotic scene of like,
Because, you
The
know,
boundary thing, no, there weren't boundaries. You
Right.
say it, that's it, or you put a boundary, but you don't hold to it, and that's just so confusing.
because, you know, we're the sober ones and we're going to control every situation. We're going to make this work. They're going to do what we tell them
we're
to do.
gonna fix our
because-
loved one no matter what, you know. Like, we know that, and that's all common. Or make a jest of it, but it's very common, and that's why education helps you realize these things and it helps you change up your whole approach.
Exactly.
Yes, first off is being able to release. Release. I think for me it also was some compassion, understanding, realizing that my loved one is in pain through all of this. It's not, maybe in the very beginning it was all, hoo-hoo, party, let's have fun, but
Yeah.
it passed that then.
Yeah, the
It
party's
kinda
over
passed
once you
that.
cross over the realm into dependency meditation. The
Right.
party's over.
Right.
You're getting high to get well at that point.
Right,
Right.
and that's sad. That's really, to me, my heart breaks for the person who is abusing and also the families anymore. I mean, for me, for me, I'm in an okay place right now, and I want to keep working on it. I want to stay fresh. I read my sesh book. I go to the meetings with Lori, maybe not quite as frequent at times. I do take a break. But I really don't want to remove myself totally from it, because I notice that I will fall right back into my old ways, in a sense, with even my conversations. Like, I really want my conversations to change and be, I don't want to be authoritative. I don't want to be telling, well, I think this is what you should do. Unless
Right.
they happen to come to me and ask me, well, what do you think?
Exactly. And
But it's funny how you say how, like, you could fall right back into your
I
old
am
ways, the
full-
same as someone suffering with addiction. You know, you become complacent with your recovery, you stop going to meetings, you stop embracing your recovery like you used to, and it's so fast, you'll start on the backslide. And you might not even notice it at first, but the people around you are going to notice it. But then they're afraid to say anything, you know, sometimes, you know?
And
That's
and
right.
I'll tell you, the first when I first started going to the meetings, and she knows all about this, and we're very close today. But the first couple meetings, you know, everybody's crying and everybody's a mess, and it's all happening to everybody. We're just fresh into this, and then this woman walks in the door, and I don't really understand the meetings at this point. She says, "Oh, my loved one is doing great. He's doing wonderful. He did 28 days, and he's just beautiful. I'm just so glad that they helped him." And I'm just like,
Those voice
I-
changes, does that make it more real for us? Or what?
I wanted
Let's use
to
your regular voice.
I wanted to strangle her. Like, I was so upset and so angry because, and we all were in the room except for bubbly girl, and I'm just like, why are you here? You're just making it so much worse for all of us, you know. And this is the beginning, so I wasn't looking at the hope, and that you were supposed to come in and tell me how to fix my loved one. Like, what are you doing here? And
Yeah, it can be kind of discouraging in the beginning when you're hearing, oh, well, gee, well, this person went into this went into rehab, this person went into detox, and you are still, your life is a disaster still.
right,
And on the
right.
same token, it's hard to hear, yeah, my son's been in the rehab 25 times, this has been going on for 17 years, like, oh my God, and people sit back and say, oh my God, is there any hope?
Yeah.
I mean, so it goes both ways.
Yeah,
It's
but but it was funny because it wasn't funny, but it was like 4 months later. I'm getting out of my car, and here she comes walking, and I'm like, oh, here she comes, Mrs. Positive again. And I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And she was like, I'm not doing good. Like, he relapsed, and I'm like, okay, I can dig you now. Like, we're on the same path. Like, and my loved one was in recovery at the time. So, we're super, super close today. And, I don't know, we have this kind of vibe that goes on when I think she needs me. It's just like this thing in the aura in the world, and I'll just pick up the phone, what's going on? And she's like, so it's just like, why aren't you calling me? Like, this is why you're like this, because you're not reaching out for the support that is out there. You're
Yeah, just remember, nobody's going to think any less of you because you're having a hard time handling this. That's why we all do what we do. That's why we're all here. It's the same as, like, people trapped with a substance use disorder going to a meeting. They're there to all support each other. So there's no problem reaching out and asking for
Right,
help or
right.
information, because that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to help each other. And as
Yes.
corny as it sounds, but it's the truth. You'll never find more people willing to help you than you will in the recovery community.
Exactly.
They're a very close-knit community.
exactly.
They really are.
Hey, Steph. Hey, Amy. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, it's really it is so weird when you go into the meeting, and like my first time going into this, my first experience was Al-Anon.
Welcome back,
beginners.
Amy.
And I was just like, yeah, what's this shit gonna do for me? how do you help my loved one? And they're like, this isn't about that. This is about you. And I'm like, well, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to find out how to fix them.
Yeah, that's the one drawback that I'm kind of being, is there's not a lot of information. Where in the beginning, you're lost, and you're looking for tangible information, something that helps you make sense of this chaos going on around you. And when it's great, definitely you got to get stronger and all. That's what they teach. You know, I know we're talking about Nor again, but like you got a million questions at this point. So it's not bad to go to 2 different meetings.
Exactly.
sure.
You go to Nor for the strength, you get, and go to a different type of meeting to get the information you're looking for. Because for me, I needed that information. I needed something to make this all make sense to me, because that's just the kind of person I am. And once I started learning these things, it was easier for me to digest what was going on around me and understand why these things were happening. You know, because at first, we all think it's a moral failure on our part. We all think that we screwed up somewhere, you know, with our loved ones. You know, I mean, it's so fast to self-blame. You know, and the sooner you can get over that hurdle and realize no matter what you did, this was still going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, whether you didn't love them enough, you loved them too much, you know what I mean? We beat ourselves up, you know? And that's one thing you got to learn. I mean, you didn't, the 3 C's, you know, you didn't cause it, you can't cure it,
You can't control,
Can't
it.
control
you can't
it.
control it, and the 4th one, you don't have to condone it in your own house either, you know? But always remember the 3 C's.
When
Right.
I first heard them the first time, that lifted such a weight off of
Doesn't
me.
that? It really does. And just to hear it put blatantly just like that, you know?
That I didn't cause it, and I can't control it, and I can't cure it.
Sure.
Yes.
You know, and these are the kind of things, you know, people need to hear, especially in the beginning, because you're at a loss. You're so upset. You're so emotional. I mean, you're not thinking straight. Your mind's going in 100 different directions. All you're thinking about is you're going to lose your loved one.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
Yeah.
say we look at the worst case scenario.
And that for us, that's all I could see, because I had so many people that had died from an overdose in my life that I grew up with. I wasn't friends with them at their time of death, but these were kids that I grew up with. I had moved away with my parents, and when I moved back home, I was like, how's this one dead? How's that one dead? How's that one? I'm like, why? And it's all overdoses. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, maybe there was a reason my parents took me, you know, moved me away. Maybe God said, you know, move to California because, you
The
know.
place you want to be.
But you know, and that's where our heads go. Maybe that was the purpose of that. Maybe, you
See,
know, divine intervention.
You'll notice with
you
me,
know?
it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. I add a little levity to everything.
Yeah,
Nothing matter with
and
enjoying life as you go along.
and Barb, you're not bothering me. You nobody that is struggling that needs to reach out and talk. That is not a bother to me. If I am able to help you, just, you know,
This is what we do. Call
Can-
us, Barb.
I
Every
was-
time I see that name, I think Diamond Girl.
Here's something I want to add to that. If we don't reach out and talk to somebody else about what's bothering us with our loved one, you're going to hold that inside, and you're going to break, and you're going to just explode on the loved one, and then that's going to make things worse.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
So we need to talk to somebody else because we want to engage with them. We don't want to make things worse. We want communication to be better.
Right.
And nagging and screaming and yelling at them because we've blown our cork.
exactly.
Good analogy, Mark.
And Barb, I know you're, you know, in recovery, but you also know that the program is a we program, and that's what the call list is for. That's why I put that phone number up there. You have my hotline as well, so, you know.
And remember, no question is a dumb question. I mean, it's a question. And don't think we're going to think less of you because you asked a question that it was silly. That's not the case.
No.
I mean, we encourage you to call. This is what we do. This is what Lori does. If she wasn't talking to you, she'll be talking to herself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not a treat either.
And there are a lot of questions in the beginning.
Yeah.
So for me, I was even like the behavior that I was seeing. What is it? What is dipping? Why is he
You're
doing?
right. There's so many catchphrases.
So I didn't know a lot of this, and I was kind of afraid to ask these.
You don't want to, nobody wants to seem
And-
naive or whatever. You know what I mean? But you
And-
have to ask.
And I guess too, learning how at times the conversations would go, where I was always the wrong one. I was, boy, did he do such a good job at turning things around, and then understanding that, yeah, that's a typical behavior of people with abusing drugs, because they want to get the focus off of them.
Exactly.
And so then they put the focus on
something
us.
or someone else.
And talk about the
So-
focus. Like Stephanie says right up there, definitely don't miss the chaos in addiction.
Where are you at? I don't know where.
3, 4 from the bottom. Stephanie Chapman. Definitely don't miss the chaos in
Oh,
addiction.
that she doesn't miss it.
Right,
Right.
she
Oh, I
doesn't.
know.
And that's
Oh,
so
my
true.
gosh.
And like you were just saying, they're trying to put the blame on someone else. And that's why, a lot of times the addict likes to create that chaos within the family unit, because it draws the attention away from
Exactly.
them. And you start questioning your own sanity.
Yes.
Like maybe I did F up and do the wrong thing. Maybe I said the wrong, we start questioning ourselves.
Yes.
So it's important to talk to someone, a neutral party on the outside, to kind of give you that courage, or whatever you want to call it, or that reassurance that what you're doing is probably right. And by all means, ask questions. That's the only way you're going to get through this, is by educating yourself. And remember, most people think they understand addiction, but they really don't. It's just a flawed opinion they have of addiction. You know what I mean? Me being one of the biggest culprits of it. I mean, I thought I understood it until I immersed myself in this and started learning things, and I realized how wrong I was. And that's like most people, because if you don't really have to understand it, you won't. But until you're thrust into a situation where it's imperative that you do, and then it's a really eye-opening experience. I mean, once you start learning about all these things and learning all the peculiar behaviors that are all so familiar amongst all of our loved ones. They all
Yes.
do make the same
Yes.
decisions and say the same things. It's like an underground network they're communicating.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
And Stephanie says those sick behaviors and chaos can definitely return if you're not working a program.
Exactly. That's
Wow.
kind of what we.
Exactly.
We got to stay.
Definitely.
We have to
You
stay
have to
fresh.
stay connected. You really do.
Stay connected. You
because
gotta stay fresh, like Marge said. I mean, because it's so easy for us to just become complacent and things are better now, and then you let your guard down, and you're not as enthusiastic about your recovery or your luck, and it's so easy for us just to fall back into old habits. I mean,
and the meeting that we attend, it's Living Grun's family group. In the past, before COVID, they would do a long-term recovery speaker, and then they would bring the patients in as well. And
I miss them.
I miss
They were great.
that connection so bad, because that's when I learned the most, is when they would bring the patients in, because the patients would walk in not knowing that this is the group that they were attending, and they would walk in and all the parents would be staring, like most of them were like, is my kid in there? Like, is my husband?
and it would always start
is
out
my-"
slow. Everybody's nervous, and then all of a sudden you feel the momentum in the room picking up, where the questions
Yep.
were coming from each side, and then people were opening up and saying things like you could see
Yeah.
it building, like
and
everybody's
and
like
and
engaged.
the biggest thing, and being, at the time we were in the outreach, and we would see people on the street, and and then they would disappear.
And my
like,
outreach friends are out there. Some of them,
Yeah.
like tuning in.
here they
Hello,
would
gang.
disappear,
The climbers.
and we wouldn't see them for the longest time, and we're like, okay, one of three things: death, recovery, or they jail. Like, there's the three options. And then all of a sudden you see them back on the street, and it's like, where have you been? And they were like, oh, well, we went into recovery, and or we went into jail, and we were doing really good, and then we stopped going to meetings, we stopped calling our numbers, and we started falling back into the people, places, things, and we're at it again, and we don't know how to get back on track. That is so common and so sad, because you start to gain relationships out there, and then they disappear for a period of time, and you know, your mind's always racing.
Well, that's the
Jail.
hardest part of doing outreach. I mean, a million things go through your mind. Why haven't I seen him? I seen him every week for months, you know, like, where did he go? You start assuming the worst, and you're hoping for the better, you know, maybe he got it together and got an apartment, you know what I mean? But you don't know what to think. And that's probably one of the hardest parts about doing outreach, because as much as you try not to get attached to anyone, it's impossible not to. I mean, they'd be coming up to me and say, hey, how's your son doing? They'd be asking me how I'm doing, how my boy's doing. I mean, they're out there living on the streets of Kensington, you know, like they're like showing a concern towards me. I just found that wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, 'cause they don't care about nothing. They don't care about themselves and all. But you would make an attachment with them, a bond, and like they became like a friend, a casual friend to you.
And Barb says, well, I went to Live and Grow my first time, and I saw 2 kids from my job, so I left. And that's the saddest part, because there's your connection. There are 2 people that you can relate to, because it doesn't matter your age difference, it's still the same disease. And you could have supported one another instead of running away from it.
It's
You know, and that's the hardest thing. Like when
she had a unique situation there where I kind of see her point.
right.
I mean, you know, the rumor mill and everything. I mean, I don't want to divulge what she does, but I kind of see her point in that
Right.
sense.
And I do too, but this is the importance of being there for the next person. It is a slippery slope, it is. But, you know, when
But you took that slope, and look what came back.
yeah,
to you.
yes.
You were brave. You took that leap, and I think very highly of you, Bob. Not that I didn't think highly of you before, but we know how nervous you were to make this move, and how reluctant and scared, and you did it, and now you're reaping the rewards of recovery.
Yes. And
If it was easy, we wouldn't have all these people in addiction.
right.
Nobody said it's easy, but it is doable.
Right. And it is an easy program if you really take the time and, you know, open your mind and open your heart to it. It's that simple. But we make it so difficult. That's the problem. Because we put all the shit into it. And
And you gotta reach out and get yourself some cheerleaders, man. You need some people to edge you along, you know, to give you, that self-assurance. I mean, it's important no matter what age you are.
right. And I'm so glad you got Vegas in and got it out of your system and went back. That's really, you know, we have to make sure we do it when we're ready. And you know, you did it. You did it when you were ready. And we don't, you know, coddle you here. You know that. We're
not coddlers.
We're not coddlers. We told you right to your face, like, the only reason you're not going is because you going to Vegas, and that's going to be your hurrah. And
Your Achilles heel.
and if that's what it took, that's what it took. You're alive. You're doing recovery, and the only problem I see you're struggling with, you're not reaching out, and that's what you need to do.
Just
you
remember, you're not imposing at all.
No.
Well, my question would be for her to ask herself, why are you not reaching out? Why? What's holding you back from doing that?
Yes, because you do have Larry's number, you have Fred's number, you have so many people you can talk to, you know, and then you have me. Like, I'm not in recovery from a substance use. I'm in recovery from the addiction to my loved one. You know, and that's what I'm here for, to support you. And Barb and I go back for a very long time. Barb, when I moved to Levittown, I was young, I think 3rd grade. We moved in there when I was in 3rd grade, and she was the first person in the neighborhood to say, "Hey, what's your name?" And we reconnected on Facebook 2 years ago.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. I've reconnected with a couple people in the neighborhood. It's pretty cool. Facebook does have a lot of good qualities.
There are some pluses.
Yes. And you don't bother me. So that is never an issue. And if I'm unavailable, I'm not going to answer until I can answer. So that's how simple it is. And if I don't answer, you have a call list. You have Fred's number, you have Larry's number, you have Christine's number,
Right, but people put their name on a call list because they want to be bothered.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe I don't know what it is, what you say that you don't want to bother people. Would it be better for you to shoot them a text first instead of making the actual call?
Exactly.
Then you may not feel as bad as that you're intruding. I don't know. I'm just making a suggestion.
Yes. And that is, I mean, you have the bat line, so it's always available. It's always open. If I'm sleeping, guess what? I have this thing. It's called an answering machine, and as soon as I wake up, I will get back to you. If I'm in a doctor's office, I will get back to you. So text me first if that is more comfortable for you. Whatever it takes to reach out and talk. And if you have a shore house, you can always invite me down and I can sit with you for the whole weekend. I'm just kidding, but no.
But yeah, we can't sit with that stinking thinking.
Mm-mm.
That stinking
No.
thinking is gonna bubble over.
And that is one of the biggest setbacks that we have in our lives, is all that shit that sits there like an elephant and just keeps getting heavier and heavier. And instead of getting it out, the next thing you know, you have a drink or a drug in your hand. And that's not going to help you. It's not going to end well. So start reaching out. We're here to listen.
Right, nothing worth having comes easy either.
No.
That's one of my biggest things I've always said to my boys through life. It's work. It's work. Yeah.
Yep, living life on life's terms. It's not easy. It is not easy at all. And it's not easy for the person that doesn't struggle with a substance use disorder. It's not easy for anybody, but it's doable. Pain is pain, but we can get through it. We can get past it. And that's so important for, us to know. One of the biggest issues that somebody that is leaving recovery, it's learning how to live life on life's terms. Because just because you went through that treatment center doesn't mean that bills don't need to be paid and debts don't need to be paid back, and you need to get a job. You need to, deal with the family. You need to deal with,
Sometimes legal stuff too.
legal. There's so much to deal with, but that's why you have a group of people that are in recovery that have gone through all of that and managed to figure out how to keep going. And that's the most important thing I can say, is to keep connected so that you know who you can count on and who you can trust to help you through those difficult times. There's some things you may not be able to talk to me about because I don't suffer from substance use disorder. So, you know, that's one of the things you have to remember. So, I'm here. I can't tell you that I know what you're going through, because I don't. I don't know the pain of not knowing how to restart your life again. But I do, from experience and hearing stories, I can kind of, you know, guide you through where to go.
So I can say too that I never really understood what one day at a time meant. I mean, I knew as a little kid, I knew that little phrase, one day
Right,
at a
right.
time. What in the world does that mean?
Grew up with the
We-
posters and the stickers as
we-
kids, always seeing it.
Like we kind of we forecast, and that doesn't do us any good. We can't. Sometimes we just have to just be in the moment, and that goes for both sides of this. We just have to try and get through the hour or the day. We can't be worried so much about tomorrow. Let's just manage today.
Exactly. But on the other hand, you have to set a goal for yourself too. You have to have something that you're working towards, but you don't have to get it all in one day. Just work today and live through today to get one step closer to that goal. You
Right,
know,
right.
that's the most important. Like dealing with my you know, legal problems. You're not going to fix it the day after you get out of recovery. It's not going to be fixed. You have to take the steps towards it, but knowing that you just have to take tippy-toe steps till you get to that resolution. You know, I mean, that's my take on it. Like,
Well, yeah, of course, goals are real important to have, but when I was trying to say one day at a time, it's for when we get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
When there may be a time when we're getting overwhelmed, and then sometimes we might just need to like pull it together and think like, am I going out of my box here?
am I projecting?
Am I projecting? Like, that's just something to try and refocus on yourself and where you're at to bring yourself back down to earth, so you're not as anxious and you're not as upset, and just get through today. And a lot of so many times, even within hours, we start feeling better.
Is there
Really.
anybody out there that has really, I mean, I'm sure everybody has it, but like really found that was a real big struggle for them to get through? And how did you manage it? My hair's driving me crazy. I don't know what side it's supposed to be parted on, so God only knows what it looks like. But if you want to call in with you know, something that you dealt with, and give some, you know, suggestions to anybody out there, or pop it in the comments too. Because that is hard. That is hard, coming out from, you know, the shit show that you were living to recovery, and then that it's just like seeing your life like, oh my gosh, this is what I had to do, this is what I need to do, this, how am I going to do it, where am I going to get the money, how am I going to do this? Like, your head's always racing. And what's the easiest way to stop it? Picking up, numbing it, instead of picking up the phone and talking to somebody that's been through it and has the resources to get you where you need to be. That's the most important thing with these phone numbers, these call lists, and the people that are there raising their hand and saying, hey, I can help you. That's what you should be picking up. We have a caller.
How exciting. Hello, caller.
Everything's got
Hello there. How's everybody doing? Hi, Marge.
Wow.
Hi, Larry.
Powerful voice.
Hi.
Turn
Hey.
the volume down.
Sick. So they loaded up their truck, huh? And they moved to where? Ben Salem?
Yeah.
As you were
Loaded
saying
up the
earlier.
truck And they moved to Beverly. I mean, they moved out that way. They didn't move back this way. Only she did.
Only I did. Only me.
Yeah, we talk about struggling and one day at a time and the herd. It all seems to blend in, especially when you're struggling and you have that hesitation of calling somebody or talking to somebody. But that's the best thing. One of the best things you can do is you're not, nobody's alone in this. No matter what side of the, your fence you're on, whether you have people's loved ones struggling or being the one struggling. But you have to open up. You have to make the first move. You have to call somebody, talk to somebody, because there are people out there that've been there, done that, and they can give you their experiences, and that's when people talk to me, I only talk about what I did. If they want any kind of advice, sure, I'll give them what I know, but I won't philosophize and tell them something out of the blue that I don't know about. And the thing is too, you have to the old expression of staying in the herd, and that's I was the subject of a few meetings that I had this past week, and it's so true. It's like a pack or a herd. When the beginning, I had more to consider it like a pack. I was a puppy. I didn't know anything, and you stay in the middle of the herd and you learn from the rest of the people. The rest of the people in that pack and that herd. As you get mature and you pick up stuff and I get more confident in myself, then I can move a little bit away, and let the next person come in, next puppy come in and learn. But, if you leave that pack, my predator, which is alcohol, is going to get me.
Yep.
And, and I don't, I did that once. So I don't want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But, we all need each other in this program. No matter how confident, like me, I'm having a good life now. I'm pretty confident in my ability, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop going to meetings or listening to people, because you learn every day. You learn at every meeting. You pick up things that you might not have, heard before or had a different. I'm trying to think of the word. A different, thing of what. It's like, oh, I never looked at it this way, and you learn, but you don't learn if you don't participate,
Right.
and that's the big thing.
Yeah. Questions.
You got to get your nose dirty if you want to get any kind of clarity, if you want to get any kind of happiness, and any kind of self-confidence, which is the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't go through this program, I'd probably be the same old boo-hoo Larry the drunk. But I'm not, so I'm very happy where I am. And if
that's
people
great.
want to talk to me, talk to me. I mean, it doesn't matter. I leave my phone number for other people, day or night. I've had people call me 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, if you're struggling, you're struggling. There's not a timeline. It's not a 9 to 5 thing.
No.
So,
And
know,
everybody's been there. Everybody's been in that situation. And,
Yeah.
And it's hard to pick up the phone. I know that. I know how hard it's to pick up the phone. I know how hard it is to walk into that first meeting. And bring a friend. Find an open meeting. Bring a friend. And like Marge says, text first. That's
yeah,
Well,
definitely.
that's just a suggestion.
But it is. It's texting is I guess easier for a lot of people, because then you're not committed. So that would be the best thing to do, I think.
Yeah, and sponsorship's another thing. You don't marry your sponsor. You look for somebody. You talk in the beginning like I did with my sponsor. I got lucky. I hit it right off the bat with this gentleman, and it was great. But we didn't get right into recovery. We talked about life and how things are going, and gradually worked our way into doing the step work, and working on my sobriety. Crawling in my head and trying to get the electricity running in my brain again, and it was great. It worked. I call him every once in a while now. I don't have to call him every day. I mean, he's been my sponsor for over 6 years, so he knows where I'm at, and he doesn't feel the need for me, to call him all the time. But it comes with work, and you don't do the work, you don't get the rewards. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like you're talking about that one person. Oh, God, 28 days. I'm in high heaven because this, it took me 2 years before I started to feel anything positive. But you stick with the program, you work with it. I worked with it. I shouldn't say you, I should say I. And the things will come.
Yes.
Good things will come.
And there's so many things going on out there that you can join in on and have a blast without picking up a drug or a drink. There's so many fun things going on in this world that you don't need to have a substance in your body.
Yeah, and you don't have to get depressed all the time. Hey, AA's fun. I mean, the meetings I go to, and there, all kinds of jokes, bad jokes mostly, but still, it's the humor of it. And in the beginning, you kind of wonder why these people so happy. They all had problems. Well, they worked out the problems. They share with everybody, and you can't help but start to feel better because you see how these other people turned out. You can't be miserable your whole life. You gotta get out there and do things.
Larry, you're talking to people who sat with my wife's uncle in hospice at the last hours of his life, and we had the only room with laughter coming out of it, and jokes and just having fun, and people were like looking at us like we were the most morbid sons of bitches they ever seen.
Yeah.
And everybody in all the other rooms were all crying and weeping, or just staring at their loved one. And we got our uncle. He was such a great guy, Uncle Owen, man. I mean, my son was real young. Richard's got a straw in his arm, making fart noises, trying to show him how to do it with the straw in the arm. And we're just laughing and having, and he was that kind of guy. That's what he wanted. I mean, he didn't want everybody feeling sorry for him and all weepy eyed and all. I mean, he went out having fun, and it was just it was a great experience. So, like you said, I mean, recovery, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. I mean, that's what sometimes some of these meetings get like, all you hear is the bad parts. You never hear the good stuff, And like Larry says, he can have fun in recovery, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're not taking things serious, but hey, you're only human, man. You got to keep your moral health about you and your physical health, and you gotta laugh sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's like telling jokes, going to a dance, hint, and dancing, having a good time. When I go, I have a blast. I don't care what goes on or who says anything.
And
I'm living life on life's terms.
It's like, I don't normally tell like bull jokes at the barber shop or anything. You got to be tactful of what you do. But I understand.
Yeah. Another thing, I'll close with this, because I don't want to take up all this time. But living life on life's terms, things don't always work out great. Like, I've had a couple things happen this past week. A couple friends of mine passed away. And, I worked with one guy for like 10 years. And, my marital situation finally came to its, conclusion, if you know what I mean. I got the letter from the Common Pleas saying I'm officially divorced. And,
Does that mean you're gonna start dating now?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, right. Dates. Today's date's tomorrow's prune. Okay, but it's just weird, the feelings and what I have to deal with,
Right.
between the personal life, relationship that's gone, or death of a friend, and you just have to, take a deep breath and deal with it, because you can't change, nothing
No.
changes. So I've heard that
Nothing
somewhere.
changes.
I can't remember. Yeah, but you just got to deal with it.
You
And
do.
all right, I'm going to go.
And you have to reach out when you're feeling it, and find that support.
Yeah. All right, let me go. Maybe somebody else wants to call. And nice talking to you guys.
Thanks
And
for
Marge,
calling,
nice to
Larry.
see you on that show.
It's always nice to talk to
Have
you,
a
Larry.
good night, Larry.
We always look
Yeah,
forward.
you too. All right, ta-ta, everybody.
All right,
Ta-ta.
be safe.
Amy says my son was drunk the other night and called me, fussed me out for no reason. Well, he called you for a reason and not to fuss you out. He called you because he was reaching out for help, but he's not willing to ask for it. He knows that you suffered and struggled with your substance use. And, I'm not saying that he was ready to get help, but he was ready to hear a message. So, I know it's tiring, I know it's upsetting, but, just keep listening and keep, letting him know that you love him and you're there for him, and, the only one that can change his situation is him. And, that's all we can do. That's all we can really do. And Barb, doing meetings is where you're going to find your sponsor, and raising your hand is where you're going to find it. You're just going to find one day that something clicks, somebody clicks with you, and it may not happen overnight. You may be okay just with meetings. A sponsor is very important because it's getting all of that shit that's sitting here out, getting the whole, dealing with life's terms, off your plate. So keep that in mind as well.
I told Bob last week this was Peter Frampton's guitar pick from Frampton Comes Alive. He goes, oh, really? I go, no, I'm just kidding, Bob. Had him on for
And with that, I just want to put out there that July 29th is the Luau Dance. I have tickets, so anybody that wants to
Come on, you gotta
Get
take
it.
my grass skirt in.
get a ticket, please reach out to me. We need to, and the tickets will not be sold at the door, so they have to be purchased before the dance. So it's a luau theme, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's at Georgine's in Bristol again. DJ Pappy P will be
Hey now.
DJing, and hit me up and let me know if you are in the Bucks County area, surrounding areas. Livingren's meeting is this Wednesday from 7 to 8:30, and we always are a little longer. I am bringing my granddaughter, so if you want to bring your grandson, you can. I believe the price is a little bit cheaper for the kids. It is $40 a person. It is a great time. We have so much fun. We do raffle off baskets to help provide people that are in early recovery, either literature or like a care package when they're going into a recovery house, what have you. Let's see, if you want to donate a basket, it can be a service like nails, hair, whatever.
And the price had to go up slightly because the price of food went up so much. The caterer
Yes.
really upped it for them, and they're not making a lot of money off the dance. I mean, but yeah, they do make a little bit. That's why we pushing the baskets and all too, just to try to
Yeah.
make some money. Because with the price of food, they really raised the price, and the people that behind the dance didn't want to raise the ticket prices too much.
Right.
But the customer base is, kind
It's
of
a-
limited funds. A lot of them. We'll put it. Leave it
But
like
it's a
that.
great time. We have 200 people at
Oh yeah,
this
it's a
dance.
blast. It's a great crowd.
And it's not like real cramped either. We have a lot of fun. So, check it out. I will keep you posted as we get closer to September. There's going to be a lot of events coming up, as they do every year. So,
And like, if you want to meet Larry, he's in the kissing booth every day. It's the biggest line in the place.
but yeah, some people, you can't get a babysitter, especially if you're in early recovery. Your babysitters are used up for meetings sometimes, getting your life back on track. So that's what that's what you need to do sometimes. And my granddaughter loves it. She's usually the belle of the ball. She comes in dressed like she's coming right out of, Cinderella all the time. Come on, Gigi, we have to go shopping for my dress and my shoes and my hairband and my bows. I need my necklace. She just cracks me up. She's like a little prima donna.
Larry, you know what
says-
they told you about your tap shoes last time? You scratched the bathroom floor terribly. Apparently Larry tap dances when he's at the toilet. I don't know. He scratched up the tile floor with them taps.
Amy says, this is all so foreign to me. I've been clean since 2012 and never picked up. Thank you, God. And that is,
That's great.
you grasp on to whatever it takes to get you through the day and not have to pick up a substance. That's the most important thing.
We are in
We are
Pennsylvania,
in Pennsylvania.
right outside of Philadelphia. We're in the
Yes.
suburbs.
Yes, and Bristol's what? It's like 20 minutes from us. Not even 20, 15 minutes.
It's right across
Okay.
the creek.
5 minutes when I'm driving, but
We're on the other side of the creek.
yeah. But it's a great time. It is a lot of fun. I know that there will be, with the summer coming and we're getting closer to September and August for overdose awareness, there's going to be walks, there's going to be different things going on. So, I'll keep you posted. Check out my page, Living Hopeful, or the closed page if you are a member, Living Hopeful, Lower Bucks County, and I will be putting on the events coming up so that you're aware. I do know that ProAct will be having tables set up through the community for Narcan training.
Hickeys are extra.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, jeez.
so there's that as well. And whenever I find where the tables will be set up, I will let you know so you can stop by their table. That is ProAct or Bucks County Drug and Alcohol, and pick up some Narcan. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know where you are. You never know who's going to need it. So, check it out. And if you guys out there hear of any events or any trainings that are coming up that you would be interested in, let me know. I can
Let
post.
us know. We'll
Yeah.
we'll advertise them for
I'll
you.
post it on the page so that people know. And remember, I have several people from all across the United States that are even out of the country. I have one in so many, one in Africa, one in Guam or something.
Guam. We have somebody in Guam. That's great. Hello, Guam.
But yeah, and Canada. But
Oh, Canada.
send me the information. I'll check it out and post it on the page so people are aware of what's out there and what education and what events are happening. So we have 10 minutes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You want to add anything, Marge?
I'm just gonna plug the organization that I volunteer for one more time, and that's the partnership, and it's national. Drugfree.org. Their website is filled with all kinds of great information and support.
Yes, and with that, Smart Recovery is for family and friends and for those in recovery. or those trying to find recovery, and you can check them out at smartrecovery.org. I love their page. It has tools, it has worksheets, it has Zoom meetings as well, and also BOM. You can check that out as well. You know, get to as many meetings as you can, whether you're a family member, whether you're you know, somebody that is struggling or somebody that is in recovery. So try
Yeah, in the
check it
beginning,
out.
I was doing 3 meetings a week. I was doing 2 different Nar-Anons, and then the family support meeting. And my schedule is, I have to be in work at 4 in the morning. That was not easy for me, and I did that for 2 years.
Exactly. We have a caller.
Hello, caller. How can we help you this evening?
Hey, Pap, it's Amy. How are you?
Hey,
Hi.
Amy.
Hey, Lauren. So I had a really bad week. Me and my son got into it again because, you know, his wife called me and she lets me hear the stuff he was saying to her. You know, all the names he calling her and all that stuff. And I said, Mom, I'm like, I can't even believe those words came out your mouth, but that's your wife. You know, I didn't even want y'all to get married because I didn't even know her. You know, nobody even told me she was pregnant, but that's another story. But, you know, don't tell him anything. But he's mean when he gets drunk. You know, he talks to me, got away, he talks to her, it's worse. And I just don't know what to do with it. Because you know what? He'll ask for some money. You know, like, he won't say hi or anything and act like he didn't just cuss me out the other day for no reason.
Right,
You know, he'll text me like, what you doing?
right.
You
And,
know.
and when they're asking for money, like that's a boundary that you have to set, and you know, make it aware that, sorry, you know, I'm here to help you in your recovery, and
Right.
you know, whatever that looks like for you, whether you want to go to treatment, whether you want to go to a meeting, this is how it worked for me. You know, I can help you
Right.
through that. But as far as money, the buck stops here. It's, you know, I can't feed your addiction, but I can help you find your recovery. And,
Right.
you know, I love you, and, you know, I hate to see you struggling like this. Like that, keeping it positive and showing
Right.
the support that you want to help him move forward. That's going
He
to
doesn't
be
even admit that he has a problem. You know,
Right.
to him it's like, well, I work all day, which he does, so I'm going to come home, you know, and she didn't cook and clean, you know, F her, and I'm going to go get me a bottle type stuff.
Mhm.
But he'll say, like, then, you got a couple of dollars, I get some gas, so I get to work tomorrow. You know, then I say no, and I feel bad, and I end up doing it because I don't know if he's telling me the truth or not.
Right, but and that's our boundary. Like, I'm sorry, no. If you can afford a bottle, you can afford some gas. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
you know, and that's where we have to stop and we have to think, because we know that, okay, it's the weekend, so I'm sure he's going to be out drinking, and I'm sure you'll get the
Right.
phone call because the wife's pissed off at him and what have you.
Right, right.
So, here's your chance to sit and think. Okay, he's gonna want money. We already know
Okay.
that, and he's gonna be complaining that, you know, she's a bitch, and you know we
Right,
all
right.
are, you know.
Right,
I'm
right.
going to take the high road on this, and I'm not going to comment.
But that's where we have to say, listen, you know, if X, Y, and Z was happening, you wouldn't need, you know, the money. You wouldn't need, you know, her to be pissed off at you. So think ahead so that
Okay.
you can really, you know, give him, you know, some vision of what all of his drinking is causing.
Okay.
You
okay.
know,
I
and
see what you're saying.
and that's where the craft comes in, where smart recovery comes in. That those tools can really help you. Hey, Eric, it's about time.
I know,
Only-
Eric, you all late.
He must have fell asleep in the Barco Lounger.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
But you know, think ahead so that, oh God, the weekend's coming up and I know he's going to get drunk and she's going to be pissed. So how am I going to be able to put him more into a positive spin and maybe him actually see, like, you know, before you started drinking, this is, you know, what was
Right.
going on. And
Right.
you know, and now that, you know, you're married and there's stress or what have you, what steps can you take to fix that without picking up a bottle? And just pointing out as positive
Okay.
things.
And then there's sometimes if you don't have an answer right there, say, hey, let me think on this. Let me get back to you. And you keep it positive, and it doesn't become confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right,
they
right.
thrive on that confrontation. Say, yeah, they say you made a good point. You know, let me think on this, and we'll see what we come up with. And you know, because
Okay.
and something else, as bad as money, but I just want to put out there for our listeners is our gift certificates. Be very cautious in giving your loved one gift certificates for anything, because any gift certificate, you know, from any store could be turned into cash at any check,
Right,
at any
exactly.
check cashing in, you know, for like 25 cents on the dollar sometimes or less.
Right,
So be
right.
leery of that.
Right.
Say, well, yeah, I'll give them all, you know. To the local food store, you know, I'll give a $50 gift certificate to the Piggly Wiggly or whatever it is, you know.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And depending on how hard they're into their addiction, you think you're helping by, you know, going out and buying them their groceries. And it's like, oh, thanks, Mom.
Right.
That's so awesome. Have a good day. And then they're Ubering to the grocery store saying, I want to return all of this.
Right.
I have to pay my electric bill and I can't afford food. I need to return this. Guess what? They have cash in their pocket again. So,
Wow.
I mean, these are just some of the things. And that's normally somebody that's like really deep into their
Yeah.
addiction.
Pretty sure, yes, but
Yes.
you know, one day we gonna look up and he is thing, but I'm just stressed. Like I'm gonna keep up on medication.
Right.
Like I'm dealing with all of this, and then here you are, like you don't even ask me how I'm doing.
Right.
You know?
Right. And there's no reason why we can't just hang up.
Right. Yeah.
You
If it
know.
starts getting ugly, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to
Right,
enter
right.
be berated or anything. Say,
Exactly.
listen, this whole conversation isn't on the positive side. Let's re-engage in this tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
You
going
know
off the
what?
rails here.
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because that's part of their
can see it.
consequence then, too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. I like that idea, Pat.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, this isn't one positive, so I'm just gonna hang up. Good
Yes.
night.
Exactly. And let them
Yeah.
know, like, you know, I understand you're going through a rough time, but right now this isn't the time for us to discuss this.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And it kind of diffuses them, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
they can't snap
yeah.
back. I mean, what's your comeback to that? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, whereas they.
Right. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. That's what I'm gonna start saying. You know what,
Exactly.
this isn't one positive. So I'm just going, yeah, let's pick up back and see where he is at. But he just started to, you know, he went out proactively and sought help last month.
Uh-huh.
You know, told his doctor everything. Doctor gave him medicine so he'll stop drinking or curb the curbing, what do they call it?
The
Yeah.
cur- Yeah.
The
I
cravings, yeah.
Right.
You know, but he said, oh, I don't think that will make you feel funny. What does that even mean?
Yeah, and that's one thing that we have to stress to our loved ones when you're taking
Yeah.
medication, especially if you're taking anything for depression, anxiety, because even though we're using and we find recovery, that doesn't mean the mental health is can't be addressed. You know, some of us have to address the mental health. But that's why you go to the doctor and you get put on the medication that is going to help you through, say, schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, depression. And it's like you have to give it time. It's going to take a month at least to get into your system before you start seeing the results from it. So don't jump the gun and say it's not working. Give it time to get into your system. And then, you know, if it's still if it's still not working, then that's what your doctor's there for. Then we try a different regimen. And that, you know, some people do need to be on medication.
Really, so many people are not diagnosed with their underlying issues. I mean, it's very common. I'd say over half of people, you know, trapped in the grasp of addiction have an underlying issue.
Night,
dual
Barb.
diagnosed. You know, unless we're treating both of those diseases, I mean, our efforts are fruitless. I mean, so
Yeah,
like I tell so many people.
no problem. And you can reach out anytime.
Thank you guys so much.
All
You're
right,
welcome.
you
It's what
have a good
we
night.
enjoy doing it.
Okay.
All right, night, night.
Well,
Well, it is 10:32, guys. We are going to call it a night as well, Barb. Have a great day. Maybe
and we
if
will
I-
make it up for a
maybe
coffee
I'll-
one weekend if we
maybe I'll
can get up
maybe
early
I'll get
enough.
up early enough.
That
and
Yardley's like the other side
have
of
a
the
cup
world
of
from us.
tea. Everybody, thanks for tuning
But
in.
everybody tuning in, thank you to the climbers for tuning in tonight. I don't know how you got our show, but man, that's great to hear you guys tuned in. I miss you guys an awful lot.
Yeah, so with that being said, everybody have a great week. We will be here next Friday, and I'm always available. Give me a call at 267-737-8031.
I'll sign your paper, Eric.
Or
You come over and clean up some doggy diamonds
you
out here,
can
a little
you can
roadside.
text me. That's available to me on that as well. And thanks, Marge, for popping in.
Thanks for having me.
I love having you because you do offer so much, and you can plug that again, that .org.
Drugfree.org.
Yes.
National organization, no matter where you are in the U.S.
Yes. So Amy, check that out. Check smartrecovery.org as well. They have worksheets. They have everything that you need to help you figure out that conversation before it starts.
Right, and
So-
if you tuned in late to the show, I mean, in the beginning I talked about that diabetes drug Ozempic. It's proven to show a lot of hope, you know, for helping people with addiction as opposed to just diabetes and weight loss. So we talked about it in the beginning of the show. I'll probably talk more about it next week.
And Eric, if you're allowed to get electronic signatures, I will definitely sign your paper.
He's electronically challenged.
He
The
is.
guy's got a rotary phone, okay?
Everybody have a great week. We will see you here next
That's great,
Friday.
gang. And remember, recovery works if you work it. Thanks for tuning in, gang.
Peace out, everybody.
I wake up in the morning and I hear my baby calling for me. the work and I hate the birds singing.